Okay, hey y'all. I know it's been a long time since I even posted anything. I'm trying to start this thing all over again. Um, I do want to make content about manifestation, obviously, from what you might have seen on my channel. This might be your first video seeing me. So I'm going to try to be consistent and just talk about the things that I've learned in my experiences. So if you see me looking down, it's because I wrote some notes. But today I wanted to talk about manifesting confidence because it's not what most people think it is. Like, I've recently been more focused on law of assumptions. So it's basically whatever you assume to be true is what's true for you, and that's what's going to reflect in your reality. But you have to be consistent in whatever that new truth is for you. So when it comes to confidence, it's definitely a paradox because right now you might feel like you're not confident, but you're like 100% sure of that. Like you're 100% sure that you feel insecure, that you don't trust yourself, that manifesting might not be working for you, or that just overall part of your personality has always been like someone who hasn't felt like they could trust or believe in themselves. So essentially you've been confident in the fact that you're not confident. So it's basically telling yourself like, okay, what do I want to be confident in now? Like I want to feel good about myself. I want to see or show myself more evidence that I'm already confident. So it's basically withdrawing your attention from the fact that you're confident that you don't have the confidence you desire to the fact that you are confident. And that's kind of something I've recently like had to really understand because I realized I had so much conviction in the fact that my reality hasn't been changing, that I'm still manifesting that experience around me. And you have to really be able to just drop your old identity, like no longer identify with being insecure or not believing in yourself, and instead step into the version of you who has always been confident. So that's where like techniques like revision could come into play because like essentially as you decide to be a different version of yourself, there's a whole reality that always existed where you were always confident. Like you never had the issues that you were facing now. Like that was never a problem. So you're basically selecting that reality. So if you're gonna use revision, you could just say things like I've always been naturally confident and just keep repeating that to yourself. Whenever the insecure thought comes up, you just immediately switch your focus to I've always been confident, and you just repeat that over and over. Like for me, I realize vein affirming works better because if you give yourself time to let your thoughts go a different direction, like you can't focus on two different things at once. So you're basically choosing to focus only on the fact that you've been confident instead of letting those thoughts spiral and take you somewhere you don't want to be in. So I'll definitely say using always is something that helps your mind think, okay, if she's always been this way, then having those negative thoughts is less likely to happen so often, as long as you keep putting your attention on the fact that you've always been confident, you've never had doubts. Like you could just rampage different ways of saying the same thing that you've always had confidence. Just as long as you know what you're implying, that's all that matters. um, and just make sure you don't fall into the trap of looking at your 3D, because when you first start to change your mindset, you might still see the same things outside of you, but you're actually in a different reality. What changes first is your mindset about it. So if you're still reacting to things in the same way, still saying, oh, well, this hasn't changed, or at least it doesn't look like it to you, because the changes are so subtle at first in some cases that you may not even have a feeling when you start affirming these things. Sometimes you do. Like for me, if I focus on something long enough, I'll feel like a little bit emotional, and that gives me the sense that I know that I've shifted into that state of being. But you don't always have to look for proof outside of you. The truth is the proof naturally shows itself to you. So you don't have to look for anything. It's just more about deciding to be confident, knowing that's who you are now. No matter what circumstances happen, you're that confident person. So how would that confident person respond to whatever circumstances are going around? Because the 3D is just waiting on you to decide and accept your truth. But if you keep flip flopping and saying, well, this didn't change, so maybe I'm not confident, like, no, regardless of what happens, you're confident. You have to stick to that and not waver about who you've decided you are. Um, Other things, like ask formations or affirmations, asking things in the form of a question, so it helps your mind like search for the answer, and that's another way that it kind of reflects things back to you. So like, why am I the most confident person? Why am I naturally confident? Why does being confident come so easy to me? Like, you could just pick one of those questions, or go, like I said, go on a rampage about why have I always been this way? And just keep asking yourself, just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. You don't have to answer the question will answer itself. So it's really just you practicing putting your attention on asking better questions instead of saying, well, why am I so insecure? Or why don't I feel confident? Or why don't I think this is working? Like, no, it's working. You just have to ask the right questions consistently enough for you to allow your reality to change. You can't keep wavering, because then it doesn't give the reality enough to go on. Like, you have to consistently say that you're confident as much as you're telling your old story. Like, thinking that I've never been confident, or I keep having all these negative thoughts. Like, the way you're convicted in that story is the way that you need to be convicted in being confident now. And that's your final choice. Like, manifestation is not waiting for something to happen. It's making a decision that you have something. That's who you are now. That's who you're identifying with. And then your reality will conform to that. But it's a choice. So you can't keep making a choice and then changing your mind. You just decide, okay, well, this is how it is. Take out the 3D out of the equation, because that has nothing to do with creating assumptions. It has nothing to do with you deciding who you want to be. So I think that's kind of where I want to leave this, because I don't want it to make it too long. And I sound a little nasally because my nose is a little messed up. The weather's a little different out here. It's going from hot to cold in a matter of a day. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep this natural raw. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm not gonna change anything, because I just want to push myself to post and start improving, and then see the progress throughout my videos. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope that, not I hope, I know you guys are confident now. I know you're seeing that reflected in your reality, and that's just who you are now. Thanks for watching.